With the rapid expansion of aquaculture has come a range of concerns over the environmental and social impact of seafood production. And while progress has been made in addressing various environmental issues and social impacts, the challenge of thoroughly assessing the governance of the industry has largely been missing. To address this, researchers at Wageningen University in the Netherlands and members of the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch program have partnered together to develop a comprehensive framework to assess the aquaculture governance, the Aquaculture Governance Indicators, the AGIs.
So the Aquaculture Governance Indicators is really a framework that tries to look at the means by which change can occur. So we look at the collaborations, we look at the legislation, we look at capabilities, and we look at certification, and how do these institutions really work together in order to enable people to make the changes they need to make to solve problems and to move the industry to a more sustainable future.
So one of the ways that the AGIs, I think, have been novel, a tool that didn't exist before, is that we are, with this tool, comparing apples to apples, oranges to oranges, finally, in that we can compare the shrimp sector in Thailand with the shrimp sector in Indonesia or the shrimp sector in Ecuador.
We already did 10 pilot assessments. And if we look into the countries that produce salmon, for example, then we see that they are strong in legislation. However, they could improve the ways in which they organize coordination.
In my previous job, we were working a lot on governance in different sectors, not just aquaculture, and we didn't really quite define governance in a specific way, and definitely there were no indicators for governance. So for me, participating in a process towards the development of such indicators, an academic process, but actually was required because, again, that did not exist before, was very useful to inform my work.
The key thing is this duplication that exists with voluntary codes and standards, and it's costing industry. Every time you send an auditor out, okay, we're going to do ASE and let's audit your legislation, and then you send someone out from BAP, let's audit your legislation, that type of thing. And that's the kind of stuff. So I can dress it up in so many different ways, but really that is the key for me, one of the key outputs from the AGI.
When Seafood Watch uses the Aquaculture Governance Indicators, it allows us to have a conversation with policymakers, with members of the aquaculture industry, with civil society. We have something to refer to that's a little bit more specific and unique and tailored to a country, a commodity, an operation type. So it's just something that's a little bit beyond the more static codes or practices or guidance from the FAO. It allows us to really dive in and hopefully generate some meaningful solutions.
With the launch of the AGI project, we invite you to explore our data from the AGI assessments. Here, users are able to select a country and species and are given information across 4 governance dimensions, with the ability to drill down on an indicator-by-indicator basis. Through the research coming out of the Aquaculture Governance Indicators project and the AGI dashboard, we invite diverse actors within aquaculture to engage with the information and our framework to advance sustainability of the industry.